to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife. King Charles backs this one's wife. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Well, what is this? King Charles has decided to back this one's wife. Has the olive branch been broken out from the case once again and extended across the ocean? This time with King Charles backing this one's wife. What's he backing her in relation to? A corner, perhaps? Or is it in the traditional sense that he's being supportive? Is he perhaps attempting to see his grandchildren and therefore is cozying up to her? Maybe he thinks it's time that something was done to bring them across the ocean, to heal the rift that has arisen, that the bridges can be mended and that everybody can play happy families. Perhaps there's some kind of financial inducement that's been sent their way. Maybe he's decided that he wants to have a collaboration with this one's wife. Perhaps she's going to sell his jam. Well, let's find out. This comes courtesy of Express US from Scarlett O'Toole that explains, this one's wife's latest project has had the royal seal of approval, as her father-in-law, King Charles III, is said to be firmly backing her. Not just backing her, firmly backing her. The Duchess of Sussex and Prince Harry's previous Netflix projects have not always had a warm reception from the royal family, but it appears their latest work is getting support from the King. According to an insider, King Charles is supportive of this one's wife and Prince Harry's latest Netflix endeavour and her new lifestyle brand launch. The couple has already launched 4 projects with the streaming service, and fans are eagerly awaiting the Duchess of Sussex's upcoming lifestyle show with Love Meghan. Despite initial disappointment from the royal family over Harry and this one's wife's revealing Netflix docuseries about palace life, attitudes appear to be shifting. Royal commentator Richard Eden was informed by a source that the king is pleased for his son and daughter-in-law. Courtiers tell me that members of the royal family actually hope the American Duchess's 8-part series will be a hit when it is released, Eden shared in the Daily Mail. He added, everyone wants it to be a success, and that's because, if it is, she and Harry won't need to exploit their royal connections again. In addition to her new lifestyle show, this one's wife is also launching a new business venture. However, she decided to drop the American Riviera Orchard brand name in favour of As Ever, as announced on her Instagram account. It then talks about what she said at the time in the video, which we've already highlighted and discussed and explained. So this latest development suggests that King Charles and other members of the royal family are all going hip hip huzzah for the Sussexes, wanting them to succeed. There appears to be an essence of truth in this suggestion that, well, if they are successful, it will stop them exploiting the royal connection, except it wouldn't. You see, even if by some remarkable outside chance this one's wife's show was met with success and her brand actually took off, she's still going to exploit the royal connection because her narcissism recognises that without it and her connection to Harry, she really is not going to get the attention that she requires. That it's not going to open the doors as it has done so in the past, that it won't generate the same level of interest. Although she doesn't accept that she's nothing without Harry, after all, she regards herself as an independent, empowered feminist who was a brilliant actor and a fantastic blogger, etc. Her narcissism does recognise the value of the royal connection for it to be exploited. Accordingly, even if she met with success, that sense of entitlement and lack of boundary recognition, forged with her absence of accountability, won't stop her from keep utilising the royal connection again. To my mind, King Charles hasn't offered his backing of her at all. If he were asked about it publicly, if he was ever to give an interview to talk about this, though one wonders why on earth he would do so, the likely outcome would be that he would wish them well, because that's part of the facade management. He's hardly likely to appear on television and say, damn the pair of them, absolute insolent arseholes. A plague on their house. No, because he utilises a facade himself, he will demonstrate that he sends them his best wishes and he wishes them every success, because that's the appropriate thing to do in relation to your family when they have some new endeavour. Privately, his reaction is more likely to be, they can bugger off, not interested in the slightest. Why? Because his own narcissism tells him that they are a threat to control, and what he does is stay in a position of withdrawal. He has no time for either of them. He sees them as an unnecessary distraction. He thinks that what they do is hilarious and ill-conceived. He has a successful business model in relation to what he does at Highgrove, but with this one's wife, he really doesn't give a rat's ass and two figs about it. So to suggest that he's backing her privately, to my mind, is not correct in the slightest. Instead, if someone were to say to him, Your Majesty, any thoughts on this one's wife's jam endeavour as ever? He's likely to go, is that what she's called? A stupid name. Because in private, he'll just be dismissive of her. As his status as the type of narcissist that he is, he will exhibit contempt towards her. Not in public. His narcissism is too clever for that. It won't allow, save where there's pressure upon the facade, for such contempt to be shown. Instead, that's saved privately. So I don't think that this article is accurate. I don't think that he wishes them well privately. I think this is just being drummed up as a suggestion that they will stay away from using the royal connection if it all goes well. Charles will recognise that they won't. After all, they've continued to milk it all of these years, going against the wishes of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and some form of success in relation to as ever, even if that were to occur, which is unlikely, is not going to stop this one's wife, because of her own narcissism, from utilising the royal connection. And therefore, King Charles not only recognises that she'll continue to exploit it as much as she can because he's wise to how she behaves, his own narcissism recognises her as a threat to control, and therefore he's just dismissive of her, not wanting to show any interest in her at all. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.